Alright, it's 2025 and somehow Conan Exiles is still going strong. Or is it? Whether you're thinking about diving in for the first time or making a comeback, let's break down where the game really stands today. What's up everybody, my name is Whack4863, but you can call me Whack. I have thousands of hours invested in Conan Exiles, both playing the game for fun and creating guides for my YouTube channel. First off, let's talk player numbers. On Steam, Conan Exiles is holding a steady daily average. Not blowing up like Palworld or Rust, but far from dead. As of the making of this video, there's 10,000 plus players on Steam alone. And Steam isn't the only platform where you can get the game. It's on Epic Store as well as Xbox and PlayStation. And there's still a healthy mix of official and modded servers with active communities. I happen to host a few Conan Exiles servers myself, and if you want to join those, the link to Discord is in the description of this video, and that's where you'll find all the information for my servers. Funcom hasn't abandoned the game either. The most recent update brought us balance changes and bug fixes, and they're regularly adding new decorations and building pieces to the game. They're not flashy expansions right now, but there has been some leaked information about additional expansions being added in the future. But it's enough to show that the devs still care about Conan Exiles. If you're into modded play, the active modding community makes up for any slowdowns in official content. There are an absolute ton of mods that can be found on the Steam store page. Performance-wise, it's decent but not perfect. You're still going to run into some jank, especially with physics, climbing, or enemy AI. But compared to launch, it's way more stable. Most players are reporting smooth gameplay on mid-tier rigs and current-gen consoles. So, Conan Exiles in 2025? It's not a front-page survival game anymore, but it's far from being in the graveyard. If you like sandbox survival with brutal combat, deep base building, and that grim, brutal fantasy setting, it's still got something to offer. What do you think? Are you still playing Conan in 2025, or are you thinking about jumping back in? Drop a comment, I'm curious to know how many of you are still building in Conan Exiles. Now, if you've never played Conan Exiles and you're thinking about picking it up, you might be wondering if it's actually welcoming to new players in 2025. The short answer is it's better than it was, but it's still not easy. Conan Exiles throws you into the desert with a rock and a dream. And the first hour can still feel like you're being punished for asking questions. There's a basic tutorial now, kind of a guided journey system that teaches you the ropes. How to craft, fight, build, survive. It helps, but it doesn't hold your hand. You still need to rely on YouTube guides, wikis, or trial and error to really thrive. If you're ever absolutely stuck, I've got a lot of guides on my channel that'll help you get through those hard areas. But Conan Exiles is best played blind. It is so much fun to learn and progress through the game without any real structure. So I highly recommend, before looking up any information on the internet, try the game out without any guidance. It's a lot of fun to just kind of work your way through things in the game. But the early game is brutal. But once you unlock your first weapon, tools, and shelter, it clicks. Leveling feels fast enough, and once you reach the mid-game, it really starts to open up. You'll go from a starving scrub to a base-building barbarian in just a few sessions. One of the best parts is the community. Conan Exiles is definitely best played with friends. There's Reddit, Discord, and if you're on a modded server, there's even server admins that are usually super helpful to new players. And even if you're playing on official servers, just jump in the in-game chat and have a conversation with the other people that are on the server. Most people are more than happy to help you out and guide you along the way. So is Conan Exiles noob friendly in 2025? Kinda. It's gotten way more accessible, but it still expects you to learn by doing. If you like the idea of slowly mastering a harsh world with a bit of help from the community, it's absolutely worth trying. Now, Conan Exiles is priced at $39.99 USD on Steam right now, but there's also in-game monetization. And if you're jumping into Conan Exiles in 2025 for the first time, you might be wondering how much of the game is locked behind paywalls, and is the monetization system actually fair? Let's start with the good news. The base game still gives you a ton. You can play solo, join servers, build, fight, explore, and finish the main quest lines without spending another dime. The core experience is intact by just purchasing the base game. But there's a lot of DLC. You've got building cosmetics, cosmetic armor, decorations, mounts, and even maps like the Isle of Sipta. Some of these are just visual, but others, like the Isle of Sipta map, can really change how you play and experience Conan Exiles. Monetization has changed since the launch of the game. Funcom shifted to a battle pass and rotating Bazaar shop, kinda like Fortnite style rotating cosmetics, time limited skins, and themed events. However, they've since removed the battle pass, and the only thing remaining is the Bazaar shop. It's all optional, but here's the kicker: it's a premium currency only, no direct pricing, and no in-game way to earn the currency. So is it pay to win? Not really. There's no gameplay advantage in the Bazaar store. It's cosmetics driven, but still, it is a lot of FOMO. If you care about looks, you might feel the pressure to keep spending. Some longtime players feel burned by this shift, especially since early DLC was a one-time purchase. The Bazaar model feels modern, but also kinda corporate for a gritty survival game. With that said, if you ignored the shop, you're really not missing out on anything essential. So is the monetization still fair? If you are here for the gameplay, then yes. If you're a builder, decorator, or collector, it can get pricey fast. It's fairer than pay to win, but it can still be aggressively expensive.
This is how I get my whack on. Visit shop.whacknation.com.
Alright, so you've seen the gameplay, you've heard about the updates and the monetization system. But let's be real, Conan Exiles isn't for everyone. So let's break down exactly who the game is for in 2025 and who might want to skip it. If you're into hardcore survival with brutal combat, deep crafting systems, and a world that absolutely does not care if you live or die, Conan Exiles will click with you. Fans of games like Rust, Ark Survival Evolved, and Valheim will feel right at home, especially if you love building massive bases, managing gear, food, and temperature, and turning a brutal wasteland into your personal kingdom. If I take a moment to reflect on my journey with Conan Exiles, it's actually the first survival game I ever played, and I fell in love with it. So even if you're not into survival, Conan Exiles is a great gateway to dip your toe into the survival genre. Also, if you're into roleplay or creative building, this game's community is thriving. Modded RP servers are packed with players, and the building system, especially with DLC and mods, is insanely versatile. Now on the flip side, if you are looking for a chill, story-driven survival game with lots of hand-holding, Conan Exiles will chew you up. It's grindy, it's punishing, and the story, while there, takes a back seat to the survival sandbox. If you get frustrated easily or hate clunky inventory management, it's going to test your patience. Even in 2025, this isn't a jump in and vibe kind of game. There's a learning curve, especially with PvP. If you decide to do that, you will get offline raided, ambushed, or killed by something dumb like fall damage. Conan Exiles, especially for PvP, requires you to be online at certain times in order to defend what you've accumulated. So who's Conan Exiles really for? Hardcore survival fans who love a challenge, builders and modders who like total control, PvP warriors and RP lovers who will thrive in the community-driven worlds. There are, however, a lot of ways to play the game. You can spin up a solo game and play by yourself, or you can join an official or an unofficial server. If you're joining a server, the game does have a decay system, so you do have to log in on a regular basis in order to keep your belongings. Decay is a system in the game for cleaning up bases that have been abandoned by players who no longer log in. So my recommendation is, if you're going to jump into Conan Exiles for the first time, go ahead and start a solo game, get an idea or a feel for the game before jumping right into a server. Decay is disabled in solo games by default, so you don't have to worry about losing any of your progress. And playing in a solo game will give you an idea on whether you like the game enough to invest time weekly on a server. To wrap this all up, in 2025, the devs are still actively updating the game. The patches are small and they're coming slowly, but there's still an investment in making sure that the game functions the way it should. Now, the patches aren't always perfect. Sometimes there are new bugs that are introduced with these fixes, and it does lead to some player frustrations. And on top of that, there has been leaked information that they're still developing new things for the game, all the while updating and fixing issues that are present. Now, the game's graphics are a bit outdated. Conan Exiles was initially launched in 2018, so it's got some years behind it. But even with the outdated graphics, it's still a beautiful game to get in and explore. With the ability to choose your play location, whether that's a solo game or a server, it really is pretty friendly to all types of players. Personally, if I could go back and start Conan Exiles all over again and not have any experience in it, I absolutely would start playing Conan Exiles in 2025. Hopefully you found this video helpful in your decision making on either purchasing Conan Exiles for the first time or picking it back up. I'd like to thank all my YouTube members for your continued support. Y'all are absolute legends. Don't be out of whack. There's another video on the screen right now that you can watch to support more of my content.